platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say, inawezekana. If it's you are here for the first time, we encourage you to go to our channel, that is Marketplace Media, and hit the subscribe button, and once we upload our video, then you'll be able to follow us and keep this community growing. My name is John Kimani. Now, we have been dealing with the types of meetings, and we've been talking about effective meetings. And last time, when we were on air, we talked about the type of members that attend every typical meeting. And doesn't matter whether that meeting is political, or is a church setting, or it's a business, whatever kind of a meeting, even or on a family meeting, these type of members will definitely show up. And if you're interested in learning who is a talking member, a silent member, opposition type, and contributing, and nagging, and absent, and lazy, and all these type of funny members that show up in a meeting, kindly go to our channel, Marketplace Believers, Marketplace Media, and you shall continue learning them. Remember, we are on air. We are streaming this both on Facebook. Our Facebook account is John Kimani. You'll find my photo there. All on a YouTube channel, that is Marketplace Media. You can always tell us what you're learning, and please let us know what you're learning from us. Now, today, how can you tell if a meeting is ineffective, as in it's not running well, as in it's not the kind of the best meeting? And so today we are running about the 10 marks of an effective meeting. Somebody called Dalton once said that meetings move at the speed of the slowest mind in the room. I take that again. Meetings move at the speed of the slowest mind in the room. Now we need to understand this, that the goal of meeting is to update. The goal of the meeting is to update members on the progress, as well as seek their opinion on a said matter. That is very important, that we realize that the goal of every meeting is to update, is to tell people, or to tell the members, this is the far that we have come from. This is the progress that we've made. These are the challenges. When you're talking about the word updating, we're simply telling them about, dear viewer, whoever it is that you're listening to update simply means several things. It simply means to provide, to give progress. To give progress. Okay? Updating means to give progress. Number 2, to share challenges or frustrations, to share challenges, to share frustrations that the project or whatever it is going through. Number 3, to when you talk about updating, you are also simply reporting on the resources that have been spent and resources that have been that are required. So the goal of every meeting, as we have said, is to update members on the progress, as well as seek their opinion on the said matter. And again, we are also saying it's also a platform of harvesting. Now, underline that word, harvesting. It's a great forum. It's a great opportunity where, as the chair, you sit, you go armed with a notebook and a pen, where you harvest the ideas that are going to make the organization or the project to leap forward, to be able to grow. And as such, we are saying it's very critical. It is very critical that the meeting become effective. It is very critical. Remember, if the meeting does not update the members, or seek their opinion, or even harvest ideas from them, then it simply means that that meeting is not effective. And so that is very, very important for us to be able to note. And so we are asking, what are the marks? What are the traits? What are the marks of an effective meeting? It should be said, a meeting becomes ineffective because of two things. It becomes ineffective because of the chair, or becomes ineffective because of the members. An effective meeting cannot become ineffective because of the agenda. It basically becomes ineffective because of the chair is unable to chair the meeting and to facilitate the meeting as we had previously said. Remember lesson number 2, we had discussed about learning a meeting, and you can always go to our YouTube channel to learn how to learn an effective meeting. So if the chair is unable to run the meeting well, and if the members are not also able to understand their role well, then that meeting becomes quite ineffective. So let's dive in and let me share those 10 marks of an effective meeting. Mark number 1, or trait number 1, is that nobody owns the meetings. Nobody owns the meeting. Owning the meeting, dear viewer, is critical as it ensures that the agenda of the day will be discussed and the action will be taken on the resolutions. A meeting will lack ownership when the following things happen. Number 1, when the members of the meeting show up the meeting without knowing who called for the meeting. When the members show up in the meeting without knowing who called for the meeting. Number 2, members who do not know the reason why they were called the meeting. They do not know who called the meeting. Number 2, they do not know the purpose, or they do not know the reason why they were called for the meeting. Number 3, it can be members are aware that previous resolutions were not implemented. When they are aware that the previous resolutions were not implemented, it can be that their opinions or ideas or suggestions are not sought or even respected. It's not sought or they are not respected. And then finally, more time is spent on trivial issues at the expense of important agenda. When more time is spent on trivial issues at the expense of important agenda. So nobody will own meetings when those 5 conditions are prevailing. The meeting, nobody knows who called the meeting. The purpose of the meeting is not known. Members, it is common knowledge that whatever that was agreed last time was not implemented, and again the opinions or the ideas of the members are not respected, and then there is more time that is spent on funny issues, on politics of the day, and jokes, and such things. Number 2, mark number 2 of an effective meeting is wrong people in attendance. When the wrong people attend a meeting, wrong people in attendance, it is very, very important that the chair or the executive ensures that the right people attend the meeting. They should be and the right persons in the meeting should be people, number 1, who are well versed with whatever it is, with the agenda of the day. Number 2, they should be the people that are directly responsible and accountable to whatever to the organization. And again, the wrong people can be everybody. When everybody in the village attends a meeting, then that meeting becomes ineffective. It is very important for the executive to ask themselves, what do we want to share? What is it that we want to discuss? If, for example, is an MCA who wants to seek opinion on a certain construction, maybe there is piping water, or maybe there is a particular road that needs to be repaired, then it will be very important to call the stakeholders, the opinion shapers, the decision makers, the key people, maybe wazee wa nyumba kumi, to come and attend that meeting, because these are the people that can be able to say how long the road is and how deplorable the road is. Then it would also be very important in that meeting to include the road construction people, the Kenya, I don't know, the Kenya rural roads, in that meeting. It would also be very important to call the Kenya Power. I don't know, the water company, because these are people that once the road begins to be constructed, you know, it will affect, and so they need to be there so that they can be able to explain whether the electricity line lands anywhere close to where the road will be constructed. And so it is very important, but and also to call the village chief for the sake of security and to inform people that the roads will be under construction. So it is very important for us to ask ourselves before we invite a meeting, what is the agenda? And once we set the agenda, once we are able to settle on the agenda, then we are able to say, then who are the most affected people by this agenda? Then, of course, you can then draw the list and then invite them. So, wrong people attending the meeting will definitely make the meeting ineffective. And that is very, very important for us to be able to realize that, okay? Then mark number three is a lack of preparation. Lack of preparation. When we enter into a meeting and we are not actually well prepared, and this forms this is for who we call the executive, the chair. When the chair, the treasurer are not prepared for the meeting, then what goes around is that meeting becomes ineffective. So failure to plan for the meeting, we are saying, is planning to fail and experience a showdown. As a general rule, we have always said, and we'll keep on saying, if you're not ready for the meeting, please don't call for the meeting. Before calling for the meeting, ensure, we are saying, underline, you have prepared. Ensure that you have prepared on the following key issues. You really need to prepare yourself for the following key issues. Number one, establish that there is need to have a meeting by listing the agenda of the day. Establish that there is need for a meeting by listing the agenda of the day. And what we are saying is that ensure that meeting that you're calling, there is an agenda. You've listed agenda 1, agenda 2, agenda 3, agenda 4. And we always say the most important agenda to come to be number 1. Okay, so you list the agenda. I think that is very important, how you list the agenda. You list the agenda on the most important item. When the members' mind are fresh and they are not tired, and then you reserve the least important agenda to the tail end when they don't need a lot of thinking. Number 2, you need to have prepared that the minutes of the previous meeting are ready and enough copies are made. The minutes of the previous meeting are ready and enough copies are made for the members. You do not want a scenario whereby members are scrambling for copies. You do not want a scenario whereby you're only reading the minutes and the people are listening. As a general rule, and it is very important that you make provision that every person that will attend that meeting that have a copy of the agenda that you're reading. It just makes the people to be engaged. It just makes people to follow up in the meeting. Number 3, that the venue of the meeting is ready with seating arrangements done well. That the venue of the meeting is ready and the seating arrangement is ready. And we encourage that in a meeting, if it's a small meeting, let the people sit in a round table conference, where they in a round table format where they can be able to see each other. We discourage from classroom setting where the leaders are sitting in front and the members are sitting, they are sitting opposite each other. As much as possible, let the people be unless it's a large meeting, because with a large meeting, there's nothing that you can do apart from that. But where possible, we encourage that people sit in a roundtable conference. And then number 4 is that members have been invited for the meeting at least 2 weeks in time. Members have been invited for the meeting at least 2 weeks in time. It is not good unless in an emergency where people are called and they almost like you've been told, come for the meeting right now or come for the tomorrow right now. And even when that is done, if it's an urgent meeting, then whoever is inviting those members, he or she needs to make it clear that I'm inviting you for an urgent meeting. It's very important. You need to respect people's time, and you need to show respect by when you invite them for an urgent meeting. You need to tell them it is very important for us to meet, and we cannot wait. We cannot give 2 weeks meeting because there are so many things that have been happening. It is unprofessional and it shows disrespect when you invite people for a meeting with no prior notice. We recommend at least, if it's not 2 weeks, then at least a week. Let the people know that they will be coming for a meeting. Okay. Mark number 4 that of an effective meeting is what we call unauthorized disclosure of minutes. Unauthorized disclosure of minutes. Unauthorized disclosure of minutes. Now, it is very important that the deliberations of the meetings are kept confidential, that they are not known, they are not revealed to non-authorized members of the meeting unless they need to be shared either by the chair or the secretary. The members must not inform members, outside members, about the deliberations of the committee, especially on confidential matters. We've seen cabinet minutes, deliberations from cabinet, deliberations from governors, and even in church meetings where very confidential information have actually leaked. This make the meeting ineffective. The people who are not even authorized to know the details of a certain meeting, they are perfectly aware because the members that attended the meeting actually leaked the information and details on why a contract was rejected or why recruitment was rejected or why so and so was terminated. Unless it needs to be said, unless it needs to be communicated, it needs to remain confidential at all times. And so we sound a warning for those of you who attend meetings and you are armed with a notebook and just to go and just share whatever it is that was shared to the two members that are not part and parcel of the meeting. Okay. Number 5, mark number 5 is bulldozing. 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 Remember, the role of the chair is 2 things. Number 1 is to propose the agenda, and then allow members to share their opinions. That is the role of the chair, to propose the agenda, and then number 2, to allow members to share their opinions. And then he or she reasons to the various opinions that have been shared. And then at the tail end of the discussion, to be able to summarize the deliberations and then pass the solution as agreed by the majority of the members. Okay? And this is very important, that the chair's biggest role is to ask, we want to buy a bus for this institution. What kind of a bus should we be buying? Then people agree it is brand A. What will be the cost of the bus? Then figure is fixed. When should we buy the bus? We should buy it by this time. Who is responsible for buying this bus? It is so and so. And then he sits at the tail end of the discussion. I think we have agreed, we are all in agreement that you're going to buy a bus brand A or brand B. We have agreed that the cost of the bus is ABCD. We have agreed so and so and so and so are to go and buy the bus from shop A or should be, and then this bus should be ready by this time. That is basically the role of the chair, to be able to summarize, to be able to harmonize, to be able to inform the members. This is what we have agreed. At the same time, when that decision is being made, the secretary is to take short notes on what has been agreed. The chair, the chair or any member should not impose their ideas on the members, because doing so, we are saying, devalues. When you impose your ideas on the members, when you force, when you use, when there is a lot of chest thumping, when you impose, what you do is that you devalue the meaning of a meeting. And again, you also show disrespect to the people that you're reading. No member, we are saying, should be allowed to dominate the sharing of their opinion. A meeting is not a monopoly where the chair throws his agenda to the people, but it is a forum where ideas are exchanged. And we've gone to those meetings where the chair actually forces and says, this is what I need. Go and, this is what I want. And so you bulldoze. When you bulldoze, then that means you are an effective leader and you are creating an effective meeting. Trait number 6, or mark number 7. This is marketplace believers, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say inawezekana. If you are here for the first time, we encourage you to hit the subscriber button on our YouTube channel so that we can keep the conversation going. And please let us know where you are following us from. We remember we are both on Facebook and on YouTube, and please let us know what it is that you're learning, and we shall read your comments on the tail end of this broadcast. So trait number 6 is passive meetings. Passive meetings. What is a passive meetings? We are saying when the resolutions are made in the meeting, they need to be followed. When the resolutions are made, they need to be followed up with an actions. The members needs to be updated on the progress of on the actions that have been made, taken since the last meeting. Maybe photos or on-site visits should be provided during the meeting for members to see. When this fails, we are saying members' morale goes down. Members' morale goes down. Back to our illustration. In this meeting, it was agreed that there is need to buy a bus. The bus needs to be brand B or brand C or brand F, and it needs to be bought from dealer A and dealer B, and it needs to be cost figure whatever it was agreed. And if it was agreed, it is the purchasing committee should be comprised of A and C and D, and it should be bought within a certain time. Now, imagine that when you come for the next meeting, you're not told whether the bus was bought, or you are told the bus was bought, but the brand that was agreed on, it's a different brand. You're not told the cost that was bought. The cost that the bus was bought, and then even the purchasing committee are like also asking who bought bought the bus, because we were not involved. Now, when such a scenario, which is commonplace, more especially within the politics, within the corporate sector, within the civil sector, and sometimes, unfortunately, within the church sector, when such happens, what happens is that the people's morale and the need to come for the meeting actually goes down. When you see some people failing to show up for the meeting, it's because of such things, and it becomes just a passive meetings that I'm just going to attend, just listen, just silence up, just shut up, and just allow them to say whatever it is that they're going to say, because after all, what we agree on is not what is done. Mark number 7 is what we call in discipline, in discipline, in discipline. Even when a member shares an opposing idea, even when the member shares an opposing idea, respect needs to be given to that member. Even, and this is very important, even when you do not agree with the agenda of the day, even when you take an opposing view, the contributing member, the opposing member, needs to show respect, more especially to the chair. And even the chair, even when the member is giving a contrary opinion, the chair demands and is required to show respect to that member. At all times, the chair should not interrupt. The chair should not interrupt the member unless the person is off track. The chair has a leeway to interrupt if the member is off track. When a member keeps on talking to each other during the meeting, the chair needs to call the meeting to order. And we've said there are members that are indisciplined. Okay, the chair needs to exercise control of the meeting and call to order any member that goes out of hand. The chair does not need to disregard members' opinions, as this will demoralize the members. Even when a contrary opinion is shared, even when an opinion we talked about those absent members or raising members, even when the chair is reprimanding and rebuking such, he or she needs to do it with a lot of respect. And again, even when as a member you are angered and you are angry about a certain meeting or a certain member, you need to speak with a lot of respect, because anything less than that amounts to what we call indiscipline. So meeting, mark number 8 is the meeting taking too long. Meeting taking too long. When the meeting takes too long, then that is a mark of what we call an effective meeting. We are saying that meeting needs to start and end within the given time. Meetings needs to start and end within the given time. The agenda needs to take the appropriate time, and this means that the chair needs to allocate enough time for each agenda, and members needs to be encouraged to share their opinions directly without beating around the bush. There are those, and we always say, if a chair proposes the agenda or throws the agenda to the floor, and speaker one takes a particular opinion, and then the second speaker gives the very same opinion, what the chair needs to do at that point is to say, it seems like we are in agreement that you're going to buy the bus. Any contrary opinion? But that is the time to ask, any contrary opinion? And then if there is no contrary opinion, then you should go to the second item. Which dealer are we going to buy? We have dealer A, we have dealer B. Dealer A, ABCD. Dealer B, ABCD. So which dealer do you think we should buy? Then the first speaker says, I think dealer A is very good. Then the second speaker says, then dealer B is good. Then that means there is division. Then he says, so let the next speaker help me to vote between dealer A or B. Maybe the next two speakers are also divided. Then that is the time that the chair can ask for, voting, so that we can be able to move from that meeting knowing that it was agreed that you're going to buy the bus from dealer A at this cost. Very, very important, so that the meeting does not take long. Okay, and again, it's also very important as the chair, when you give somebody moment to contribute, you allocate time. Say, I am giving you 2 minutes and I am timing from you from now. And so allow people to be able to speak. And when their time is over, it's always important as the chair to tell them, okay, I allocated you 2 minutes. Your 2 minutes are over. Please sit down. Or let me be generous. Let me add you another extra 1 minute. Okay, that is very, very important. And then mark number 9 is what we call lack of punctuality. Lack of punctuality. One of the biggest traits of ineffective meeting is when the members arrive late. When the members arrive late, or they want to leave earlier before the meetings. Remember, we said there is those members, the types of members in our previous broadcast who attend the minute late, and would actually demand that they are updated on what was discussed. We are saying, as a general rule, the chair should call the meeting to order immediately the time for the meeting arrives. When the meeting for the agreed time is agreed, then the chair should call the meeting to order. Again, this should be done whether the quorum is present or not. Okay, and he should then end the meeting within the agreed time. And if there is need to extend the time, the chair again is to ask the members. We had agreed to end the meeting at 10:30, at 12:30, at 8:30, but there is 2 more agendas that we've not discussed, and it is very important for us to discuss these items before the next meeting, and then explain why those agendas are very, very important. Okay, then mark number 10, the last one and not the least, is unavailable records and updates. Unavailable records and updates. It needs to be said that before the meeting, the secretary needs to avail, and we've said it again, he needs to avail the copies of the previous minutes, and the minutes needs to be accurate and clear. It needs to be accurate and clear. Okay, very, very important that the agenda, that the minutes are accurate and clear, and they need to be printed in this time and age in a visible font. Members do not need to strain to read the minutes, and they need to go for a good print, and they need to be fine print. If there are reports to be given, for example, back to our example, the bus, the photos of the bus needs to be availed. Details of the 2 dealers needs to be availed. Policies that will guide the management of the bus needs to be availed, because these are very important. And so we are saying, if there are reports to be given, they need to be ready. They need to be ready. When a presentation is done, everyone needs to be following, either from a projector or from their files. Okay, assume it's a boardroom, a closed meeting, so whoever it is needs to avail the projector, and they need to see it. It needs to be visible. Every member needs to be seen it. When records are unavailable, then it becomes very difficult to track, and we lose the members. In order to have a productive meeting, we are saying, please review the minutes of the previous minutes. Please review. That's what we are saying, and ask yourself the following key questions. Okay, this is after the meeting. You need to ask yourself the following 9 key questions. Key question number 1: is there any decision that was passed that needs to be implemented before the next meeting? Is there any decision that was passed that needs to be implemented? Number 2: is there any action that we need to take before any meeting? Number 3: is there any information we need to find before the next meeting? Is there any information we need to find before the next meeting? Who should do what as agreed in the next? Who should do what as agreed upon? Number 5: when and how can we do this? When and how can we do this? Number 6, what will we discuss? What will we discuss in the next meeting? Remember, we've said never call a meeting without agenda. Number 7, when can we call the meeting? When can we meet? Okay. Number 8, where can we meet? Where can we meet? And the meeting place needs to be conducive and accommodate the number of members that are going to attend the meeting. It also needs to be a place where there is minimal interference. You do not want to meet in a place where there is a bit noisy. And then, how long can we meet? In other words, the duration of the meeting. How long can we meet? It is wise to allocate enough time for the agenda to be exhausted. Well, I want to believe that that has been a blessing to you, and there are things that you've been able to understand. This is Marketplace Believers, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say inawezekana. We encourage you to go to a channel that is Marketplace Media, all on the Facebook, John Kimani, and please let us know what is it that you've learned from this broadcast. Until next time, my name is John Kimani. This is Marketplace Media. Remember what you always say here. You always say it, and we believe it. You always say, inawezekana. God bless you. Have a blessed day.